ever dream about launching your own business, but you've been put off by the thought of endless yards of red tape, VAT invoices, and the 24/7 grind of making a simple idea commercially viable? Well, that hasn't put off the entrepreneurs, Emma Agese and Sandra Asimo. They're determined to make it big in the fiercely competitive worlds of beauty and magazines. And I'm pleased to say it, they join me now in the studio. Very good morning to you.
Good morning.
I mean, just give us a sense of how competitive your markets are, Emma.
Goodness gracious.
Where do you start?
Yes, exactly. I currently, I get to work in several department stores. And customers actually come confused. They're literally confused. There's so many different products, and that's in a department store. And if you think of the whole world, the array of beauty products and the claims that they make, it's massive. The industry is highly, highly competitive and highly saturated.
Right, OK, so that's the world of beauty. Now, what about magazines? Because we hear about numbers of titles going under, some of them very well established. But yet it didn't put you off?
It didn't put me off. Why? Because I believe we still need the information. We are producing a natural hair magazine. And I wouldn't necessarily just call it natural, because people associate that with, let's say, black Africans, black Ghanaians or Nigerians, and then the list stops. I would say people that want to take care of their real hair. That is the magazine that we are trying to produce. And women, I believe, want more information with that. Regardless of what is out there at the moment, we always still want more. And I don't think physically, tangibly, there's not enough print magazines out there, but there is a lot of things based on the internet.
Right, OK then. Now, OK, this is the first time I've met you, and I can see that there's an automatic synergy between what you sell, which is an oil that can be used on the hair and on the skin, and obviously in what you specialise in. So I'm sure you'll get together and discuss advertising later. But, I mean, clearly, you've both got your own USPs, unique selling points, but what do you have to do to actually make any USP stand out above the crowd? How can you be sure that you haven't got anybody imitating what you're pushing?
Should I start?
Yes, you start. Go for it.
I think if you do think about somebody imitating your idea, you'll be quite limited in actually jumping ahead and say, let me do this. In terms of my products, what I personally did, it was more a personal journey. I had really bad skin, so both my cheeks had acne. And at that point, I had watched a documentary that centered around what the concept of good hair was. And I saw an experiment that was done on relaxers, and they placed...
And these were hair straightening products?
Yes, chemical
hair straightening products.
They placed a metal can inside, and it said voided. So I was thinking, if that's happened to a metal, what's going on in my scalp? What's going on in my skin? So this kind of shock led me to actually research on more natural ingredients for looking after my skin and my hair. And during my research, I realised that India had a lot of heritage in terms of what the women used for looking after their skin and hair that were natural. So I went to India.
Right.
I stayed there for 10 weeks, researching and asking these ladies, what do you do? What do you use on your hair? What herb is this? What oil is this?
Right.
And I learnt a lot. And I think just actually stepping in and saying, OK, this is my journey. I want something that actually works for me. When you find something that works for you, you can then create and elaborate that story and share that story with your audience,
right.
in essence.
So that's your journey to your USP.
Yes.
And what about you?
It's once again a personal experience that leads you to be able to go forward with your idea regardless of what is out there at the moment. Because the point is, there's always going to be that person that is thinking like you. I can't get enough of this, or there's not many magazines or not many people discussing how to look after curly hair. And as I said, it's not a thing of natural, but it's about curly. So we just thought, because I'm working with my team, we thought, if we're thinking of this, then we need to go and discuss this with other people and go forward and actually bring this into the market.
Right, OK. So this is what you've done. Now, the question is, how do you get the finance? Because anyone can have a great idea, but that's always a difficulty for many businesses. That's why some of them are stillborn. I mean, just give me very briefly how you went about getting your finance. I have to stress brief here because time's running tight.
I operate differently. I'm a Christian, so I believe that I have to take certain rules, and there are certain rules in terms of, let's say, gravity. If you drop an object, it will drop. So there are certain rules for finances and certain rules for success. So in terms of my faith, there are certain rules in which I practiced. My finances came as a result of my university. They financially invested in my business, but that didn't come by chance. And it didn't come by me just approaching them. I had to set certain things in place. So there are... I wouldn't be limited by finances, and it didn't take long for me to actually get the investment I required to actually launch. So I think, first of all, if you know how to be financially successful and you implement those rules...
Right, then you get the money.
Yes.
So it's a bit like the magnetic effect.
Yes.
OK. Can we jump in here with you, Sandra?
Yes, I am also Christian, but my story is not that like Emma's at the moment. We are actually using a platform called Kickstarter, and we're asking people to pledge towards our vision, towards our idea. If they agree with it, if they understand it, if they want to get more information about it, we are asking people to go to Kickstarter and basically pledge towards our magazine coming to part.
Right, so it's a bit like crowdfunding, basically, which they use in films.
Exactly. So we've explained more information about our magazine. If you just go to our website, Curly Hair Magazine,
right, okay.
And basically, if you just continue, we've got a little video on there as well explaining our idea and why we think it needs to come.
Right, so we've got that. Now, this is a very personal question.
Yes.
So, what makes running a business more attractive than being a PAYE wage slave? As in pay as you earn.
I'll go first with that one.
You go first.
I'm still working full-time whilst building my business.
Right, but that's part of your business strategy, so you earn, you have that income stream whilst you're building.
Exactly. But I'm still at the stage where, obviously, I'm still doing both because one needs to, obviously, help the other. But I think the key thing is if you have an idea, as you said, many people have an idea, the differences of being an entrepreneur is actually doing and moving and going and acting. That is the stage that we're at, and we want to pursue because we believe that this will actually help people in this world. It's not just about it's just an idea. We want to help people.
Okay.
And once there's something to help people with,
people will go for it.
We hope so.
You hope so. I'm sure they will. I'm sure they will. But I mean, for you, what makes being solo, flying solo, more attractive than actually doing the 9 till 5 or whatever it is?
Okay, I come from a little bit of a different standpoint because I started solo. So when I was 21, I launched the company. I'm actually working underneath a cosmetics company at the moment. So for me personally, again, is the need to help. When I started using my products, a few of my friends found, I guess oils actually makes your face look a lot more beautiful. Your skin's changing. You know, your hair's growing. This is all my hair, by the way.
Right, so you're a walking advert for your product, basically.
So I gave them some of my products and they used it. So it's just a need to actually help and actually change a woman's life.
Right, it's a kind of altruism, basically.
Yes.
OK. Ladies, I have to end it there. Time is very tight, but we've got a wonderful sense of what you're doing, the challenges that face you, and we wish you the very best going forward in the future. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for having us.
Thank you very much. They're extremely polite, aren't they?